In a quiet valley, there lived an old man named Elias. His small cottage stood between two enormous mountains, one called Grey Peak, the other Iron Hill. Their shadows darkened his fields, their weight blocking every road that led to the world beyond. For generations, people had lived beneath those mountains. They complained about their hardship, but no one ever tried to change it. They would sigh and say, "The mountains have always been here. They will always be here." But one evening, as Elias sat outside his home watching the sun sink behind the cliffs, he whispered to himself, "If I must live beneath their shadow, let it not be in surrender." He rose, called his family, and said, "Let's move the mountains." His wife stared at him in disbelief. "Move the mountains? Elias, you are nearly 90. Your hands tremble when you hold a cup. Even if you dug until your last breath, you wouldn't move a single stone." Elias smiled softly. "Maybe not, but if I begin, my sons will continue. If they cannot, their sons will. The mountains cannot grow taller, but our courage can." The next morning, he took a shovel and began to dig. One basket of earth at a time, he carried the soil away. His sons joined him, and day after day, the sound of their tools echoed through the valley. People laughed when they saw him. Children whispered, "There goes the foolish old man." One afternoon, a wealthy merchant stopped on the road and called out, "Old man, are you truly so foolish? You'll die before you move even a handful of that mountain." Elias leaned on his shovel and said calmly, "Perhaps, but when I die, my family will go on. The mountain will not grow higher, but our determination will." The merchant scoffed and rode away, but Elias kept digging. Days turned to years. The old man's hands grew frail, his breath short, yet each dawn he rose again to move a little more earth. He no longer measured progress by distance, but by devotion. One cold night, as Elias rested by the fire, he looked toward the mountains and said softly, "If only I had the strength to finish what I began." In the heavens above, the God of the earth heard his words. Moved by the sight of a mortal who dared to challenge what seemed eternal, the God said, "This man's courage shakes more than soil, it stirs the heart of heaven." At once, the God summoned two mighty spirits. They descended in the night like mountains of light, their hands vast as valleys. With a single gesture, they lifted Grey Peak and Iron Hill from the earth and carried them far away, leaving behind an open plain bathed in moonlight. When dawn came, Elias stepped outside and gasped. The mountains were gone. The road stretched wide and clear, and sunlight poured freely into the valley for the first time in centuries. His wife and children gathered in awe, but Elias only smiled. He looked at the horizon and whispered, "The mountains moved because faith did not. Courage may seem foolish to the world, but even the heavens bow to a heart that refuses to give up. The mountains before you may be vast, but they are never greater than the spirit that dares to move them."